Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Chi. For those of you who don't know, welcome to Compass of Chi. This is a mini get ready with me as I'm getting ready to explore Switzerland. Usually I'm already ready, but I was like, why not just go ahead and make a get ready with me video, because sometimes you need to see how to get ready. So I'm already dressed. I always put a robe or a towel on so I don't get any makeup or anything on my clothes, especially if you're wearing white. Kind of had to force myself to get up because it was a nice long flight, and I did not get any rest the day before that much. So of course I was excited to be here, and now reaping the cost of all of that, but it's okay. I got my hair done not too long ago, but it is summertime, as you know, and those of us with curly hair, when they're in the summertime and you straighten your hair and it's not a perm, it will start to buzz up, so it's okay. So guess what? We're gonna find the style that works today. So I am in Switzerland. I am here for a day. I'm super excited. I've never been to Switzerland. And I'm going to just explore so many things to do. My hotel gives us a train pass, so I think I'm going to take advantage of that. I just think that might be nice to do. It's about going on 3 o'clock here in Switzerland. It's about 80 degrees outside. So what I'm doing, I'm just putting some curls in my hair while I put a light makeup on. It took me a while to find just like a simple makeup routine that I like, a quick go-to. So I make sure that I moisturize my face. I make my own moisturizer. This is white shea butter, rosemary oil, and I believe coconut oil. Just moisturize my face first. On your neck, because your neck's a part of your face, around your ears. I have a combination, sometimes dry skin around these areas. So I always want to make sure it's moisturized before I put my makeup on. I have a very simple makeup routine. I use my Super Stay. So I like moisturizing foundation that has a little bit of vitamin C in it. This one doesn't have any, there's a hair on there. This one doesn't have any, what's that stuff called? Screen protector on it. Okay. I just do a little bit. One thing that helps my skin be healthy is that I wash my makeup brushes once a week. I also don't wear makeup all the time. It took me a long time to really work on my skin and find out what works for me. I had to cut out dairy for a long time. My particular skin, it doesn't need like any type of, what are those things called, primers, or I can't really think of the name. Toner, that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't need toner or anything like that. It can be intimidating to find out what works for your skin. I'm not gonna lie. It took me a long time. I used to have acne all here, all on my cheek. I still have some of the old marks or lunes. I learned that in Spanish one time. So. Speaking of Spanish, I am learning Spanish. I had the blessing to travel to many Latin America and Caribbean countries that speak Spanish. And when I got out of high school, I lived in Miami for about 5 years. And I learned a lot of directional Spanish. I learned a lot how to say things in Spanish when it pertains to food. But just like anything, if you don't use it, you lose it. And I also became complacent. A lot happened. I remember back in the day when I was working at Disney. I used to work at Disney a long time ago in the culinary department. And on the bus ride, I used to have to be at work. I had to be at work at 6 a.m. every day, 6 days a week with no car. And I lived in a place where you had to take a shuttle to the main bus terminal. So I used to have to wake up at 2:50 every morning. I despise that time. And then I had to walk about 10 minutes in the dark every day. Definitely built some character. I will say that. Definitely built some character. But I would pass a lot of that time doing my Duolingo Spanish. I think Duolingo was a little bit better back in those days. I want to say about 10 years ago. It was a little bit better back then. It wasn't so modern. But anyway, I remember I completed the whole series and I was really serious on it. I also worked with a lot of people who spoke Spanish at my jobs and stuff, especially in Miami. It's like another Latin America country down there. Shout out 305, shout out Miami, love you guys. But yeah, so I recently just became more inspired and I realized that I'm the type of person that I love to write. I'm a writer and I also need a teacher. And it's no shame in understanding your learning style and how you're going to be able to master something. Some people can watch TV, right? They can just binge it, watch it, learn their Spanish. That's great for them. Some people, they need to be in class. Some people need to just go ahead and live in a country where they already speak Spanish, which I think immersion will be the best for me. And given that I travel for a living, throughout the makeup stages, I like to make sure that my station is clean. That's like an old culinary thing, but even though it's not related. But anyway, I found my learning style. So now it's just about the discipline. It's something that I'm learning about myself, is that discipline takes time. And in my mind, once I said I'm going to do something, I do follow through. But I think in this stage of my life, I'm using blush, a little bit of blush. I'm learning that it does make the skin pop, and also I like a natural look, so a little bit of blush helps. Mine's not really that great, but it doesn't work. It's kind of brownish looking because I put my makeup on. It's like a cream blush. Maybe I should try a powder one, but it's okay. Anyway, like I was saying, discipline is something that you have to build. And I think what I'm learning is it is very much a mental thing, right? Because in my mind, I remember I told myself by the time I'm 30, I'm going to be fluent in Spanish and all these things. But I just, life got in the way. I didn't keep up with it like I should have. And then now that I'm more inspired to, the thoughts of all the things I should have done and all the things I could have done, they started to creep in. But sometimes you have to arrive to a place in order for your discipline to match your mental maturity, right? Sometimes you may want to do something, but you have to mature in just life experiences. Get to a point where you're actually stable enough to take on another task or learn a new skill or something like this. And I was inspired by my pastor, and he was telling us how at 50 he learned how to be fluent in Spanish, but he hired himself a teacher, right? And now he does sermons in Spanish and English, but he also allows himself to make mistakes, right? He's not perfect out the gate. And he understood that for his type of learning, plus he's a busy man, he's a husband, he's a father, he has several businesses. He needs somebody that's going to call in. He needs to set aside time to learn it. Now he wakes up, I think he wakes up about 5 or 6 a.m. almost every day to learn Spanish because his teacher's in another country. I believe she's in Spain or something, right? And I just admire his discipline. And it encouraged me. You know, recently I've been meeting a lot of Americans that, there's one lady, her husband lived in Nebraska their whole life and then just decided, we want to live in Puerto Rico. And she said, well, she did, it took her 10 years, but she said with consistency, after a year, she was fluent. And I was like, wow, like you wouldn't guess that there would be people that would speak Spanish, but that was her. She learned it enough to be fluent, and now that's her second home. And honestly, the way the world is moving, dual citizenship is necessary. You need, especially if you are American, and I know, unfortunately, being American sometimes, unless you came from another country or you were strategic enough to learn 2 languages and keep up with it, a lot of Americans, when being born here, you don't get taught 2 languages in school. It is not encouraged unless you decide to keep up with it. I learned Mandarin in high school, and I really enjoyed it. But the colleges that I chose, they didn't have Mandarin. I would have loved to keep up with that because I was young, right? So younger, and I think I would have been fluent, and especially at my job. That's really a good language to know if you want to be able to fly and go to the places where they speak Mandarin. But let's, like with anything can be learned. I think another blessing about having technology and being in the world that we live in like this, we can take advantage of learning things, you know, and I really am inspired, like I really am. And I'm looking for a teacher. So if you're watching this and you know a good Spanish teacher or maybe some good programs to recommend, please let me know. I need all the recommendations I can get. I really appreciate it. So now, guys, as you can see, I finished my makeup. I have 4 things that I do. I have my tinted foundation. I have my Fit Me Maybelline Loose Finishing Powder. I used Simple Black Mascara, or maybe 4 or 5 days. Simple Black Mascara, a little bit of cream blush. You can barely see it, but it's a little bit there. And then I have some black eyeliner that I use for my eyebrows. I don't like a lot of makeup. I like a real simple, natural look. Mainly because I'm usually wearing cream or white, and I don't like makeup getting all over my stuff and getting in the way, and you know. But as I've grown in my confidence, I've learned to find what styles fit me, and styles also hairstyle. It's also makeup. I'm also going to include food routine. I also learned certain foods that make me feel sluggish, or they just make me feel bloated or uncomfortable, or I can't digest it properly. All of that stuff goes into your whole well-being, and the more you grow, you gotta learn what your body can tolerate, what it can't. And I think for me, that also ties into discipline. Because when you're just disciplined about what you put in your body, how you style yourself, you know, making sure, like, for example, I never, ever go outside the house with a bonnet on my head or pajamas. That is an absolute no. You will never see me outside like that. That was one thing my mom and my mom instilled in me and my siblings. You don't go out the house with sleep clothes. I don't know what has happened to this generation and others, but especially Americans, we're like the only ones I've ever seen to walk out the house like that, looking like that. It's not a style, and it doesn't make people take you seriously, you know. So let's stop doing that. But anyway, yeah, so I found my style. I find what works for me. I also like simple jewelry, so I'm putting now some earrings on. I need to buy another pair of earrings because I lost the ones that I had in my hotel. I took them off because sometimes at night the top earring will bother me. So I'll take it out. But then I forgot to put it in because I was rushing. Another thing about growing and maturity and discipline. When you're disciplined about the things you want to learn and do, it is mental. And another part of it, of your discipline being functional, you have to allow yourself time to do things, right? So for me, I already have a pretty busy lifestyle. So I need to have certain routines in place so I can know like when to get ready. That's one thing why I highlighted I like simple makeup routines, because look, now I'm basically done. I put my earrings on and I'm out the door. But when you're trying to figure out everything, you don't know your routine, everything's all over the place, it can be kind of stressful. So now I have some simple gold hoop earrings I'm gonna put in. Yes, I'm gonna put some lip color on because you need a nice lip. So it's important to have a complete look. But back on the discipline piece, my discipline journey, I think discipline is different for everybody. I admire people who wake up at 5 a.m. and they go jogging and they run and they do all this stuff. And sometimes I bought running shoes. And I was like, maybe I should go and be a runner. But I have yet to wake up that early and jog anywhere. Just haven't done it. Discipline is definitely a self-improvement journey, and it's not a one-day thing. And it's some days it's you against yourself. A lot of times, it's you against yourself, and you really have to be kind to yourself and know what you need. I know some people, they need trainers, and I'm all for that, especially if you don't know. Oh, look at that. If you don't know where to start, right? Eventually, I like to get an athletic trainer or someone of this caliber to help me with just like overall fitness. So I am pretty healthy. I'm pretty fit, but there's some extra soft spots like my arms and my stomach and my thighs that I want to tighten up, right? Something I've learned, and I've taught myself this in my discipline, because I usually very much fluctuate in weight, like almost 30 pounds sometimes. And I've learned that you're supposed to love yourself no matter what size you are, and love yourself from the size you are into whatever size you're going to get to, because you did not get to the place you're at overnight, and it's not going to take overnight to get you to where you want to be. You know, it's just not. So if you're on a fitness journey, do small things every day to work on yourself. Be kind to yourself, because it's going to take time, right? It's going to take time. Okay, guys, what do you think? I think it looks nice. Right? And now we're ready to go out. Make sure you invest in a nice robe. But yeah, simple makeup routine. Nothing too crazy. Okay, let's go. It was nice chat with you guys, and I will see you later.